Okay, this interview I did was for the lovely Ardella Diggs. She actually did me a favor on this one. She kind of went in on me at first on my interview, but I mean, her opinion was greatly valued in this section. Like when she read it, I really didn't know what to expect from her insight on the interview, but I mean, she went in there, did her thing. It's kind of short, but she gets straight to the point, and she lets you know, like, how she felt while she was reading it. And I'm really thankful, like, that she was here to do it for me. Thank you, Ardella. How did you feel when I told you that I wrote a book?
First off, you didn't tell me you wrote a book. You told me, hey, I have something I want you to read. And I'm like, okay, is it for school? Is it for class? Like, is this like an application essay? So I kind of didn't find out until like I get this large document. And I'm just like, oh, this is a book. And I wasn't prepared to sit and read that long, but it ended up being good. So I didn't know.
Okay. Did you have any emotional connect with what I wrote in the book?
Yes, I think because I knew the author and you know the realness of it and like the connection of like being a friend um, to you during that time. So yeah, I'd say I did.
Describe your thoughts about the imagery and detail and how it described the characters in the story.
I was surprised like to see how in depth it went and to the point where you feel like you really know these people because the characters were all described really well. The scenes you could tell like exactly where and when things happened. So the detail was really in depth to the point where a little bit too personal, but just right at the same time.
What was your favorite scene in the book? Party scene, me hanging out with people, just in general. Anything stood out for you?
Um, I think maybe all of the parts like in the bedroom when like the girl was really just telling about herself. All the parts that were like just one on one instead of like a large group were stood out more for me than like a big conversation where a lot was going on, like the small like intimate conversations.
Would you recommend someone else reading this book?
Yes, but I think I would kind of filter like my mom might cuss me out if I like shared it with her. I mean, she wouldn't cuss me out, but I kind of have to like filter who I gave it to or people who I think would be able to like handle that type of story. But anyone who wants like a real portrayal and just a good story overall, yeah, I would recommend it.
And I've been asking this question to everybody that did it, these interviews. So, I mean, it's only fair to ask you, how do you feel about the strippers?
I'm trying to remember. I mean,
It's a simple question. I mean, how do you feel about them? Just in general. I mean,
I mean, anytime anybody says anything about strippers, like I exit myself from conversation. Like I don't want anything to do with it. Like I go off somewhere and just leave. So I mean, it's just not my preference at all. So I don't feel. I mean, to each his own. I guess I'm good on it though.
okay. Well, I'd like to thank you for doing the interview. Are there any closing statements you want to say, or?
I was really surprised because I didn't know you had it in you, and it was really good. It was one of those where I could just sit down and read it straight through, just because I was interested to find out, oh, like what happens next, and how does the story end, and you know, event after event, and the story was really good. So I'm surprised, and I was happy that you decided to share that with me. So thank you for writing it.